So I think the smartphone industry in China, or rather the smartphone players coming from China, have already left a pretty significant legacy over the past couple of years. I mean, if you look at some of the latest products that have come out of China, not only look at the products that are coming out from Xiaomi, but look at, so Mi 3, for example, which is a top-notch device, and so Mi 4. But look at devices coming from Oppo, like the Find 7 is an extraordinary device, right? Huawei, Ascend, Ascend P7, right? And the Honor 6, like amazing devices. Look at OnePlus One, right? An amazing product as well. I mean, these are world-class products. There's nothing about those products that you would say makes them less interesting or less appealing than products coming from Korea or Japan or the US, whatever it might be, right? So I think that has already happened, and we're not one to take credit for that. I think the entire industry, largely because of all the competition internally, has really created a level of quality that is absolutely top-notch, and I think will probably surpass, right, the rest of the world when it comes to quality. So that's taken care of. So first of all, Apple is one of the most extraordinary companies that any of us has ever seen, right, and will for a very long time. So on that account, you might say being compared to Apple is a great thing. But the reality is that we're actually a lot more, and we're a very different kind of company, if you will, right? You can even say that Xiaomi, it's kind of like bits and pieces of Google and Apple and Amazon and other companies, right? We have the software engineering horsepower of a Google in many ways. We have the design ambitions of an Apple. We have the e-commerce platform and the customer service focus of an Amazon, and so on and so forth, right? So it's unfair in the sense that we're a very different kind of company from Apple, and we certainly we have much bigger ambitions, and we want to do so much more. Well, I think if you look at the reception that our products have received around the world, you would be crazy to say that Mi products are not aspirational, right? Mi 4 and Mi Pad, for example, which are the latest products we've launched, are amongst some of the most coveted products in the world today. And part of it has to do, of course, with the fact that we haven't launched these products in many markets yet. For example, here in India, we haven't launched Mi 4, and so many people write me every day saying, how can I get a Mi 4? But also because we are only ramping production now, so obviously demand is still much higher than supply. So I think our products are already very coveted products, in line with any product that you might cite from any other company. So very much the case. When it comes to pricing, I think you have to understand how we price our products and how everybody else prices their products and why, right? So we are an e-commerce company, right? We live on the internet. We price our products, we price Mi phones for the internet, which means when we look at what are all the cost items that have to go into coming up with a price, we actually have a different list from the more traditional smartphone vendors. Primarily because, number one, we don't invest in marketing, right? So, meaning traditional marketing. We live in social media, and that's a lot less expensive to us. So that becomes a saving that can bring the price down. But secondly, we're selling exclusively through e-commerce, right? So the price that we have on e-commerce can actually be much lower because the cost structure of e-commerce is much lower. It's basically fulfillment and shipping costs. That's essentially what you have, right? You don't have distributor, reseller, and all these other costs. Like you don't have shops that have to be open every day with staff and so on and so forth. Right? So the cost structure of e-commerce is actually much lower. Right? So when you add all these things together, you understand why it's possible to sell a product at such an unbelievably low price. It's purely the reality of the channel and how we operate in our business model.